acrobatic bodies. Whatever it is that excites you most, I think we can all agree that people have been fascinated by dolphins for thousands of years. With help from Christy, one of our amazing marine mammal trainers, we are going to get to know two very special Pacific white-sided dolphins. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to introduce you to Helen and Hannah. These two Pacific white-sided dolphins live here on the Wild Coast. Both of them are female. Helen is likely in her 20s, and Hannah is a little bit younger, perhaps in her later teens. But after a display like that, there's no question that they are amazing animals. Let's give them a big round of applause, folks. Pacific white-sided dolphins are amazing creatures, but they are also a species that is shrouded in mystery. Researchers are working hard to discover more about their kind here at the Vancouver Aquarium. That's a unique opportunity because Pacific white-sided dolphins are rare to find in facilities. Take a look at the shape and color of their bodies, and you'll be able to see that Pacific white-sided dolphins may not look very much like some of their relatives. They have stripes of dark, paler gray, and white on their bodies, as well as a torpedo-like appearance that helps them to swim faster. They're also unique because Pacific white-sided dolphins are considered to be among the most acrobatic marine mammals in the world. Look the other way the hell.
Wow.
I'm betting that all of you can probably guess why. Pacific white-sided dolphins are found all across the North Pacific Ocean, like their name suggests. And these powerful leaps can be seen from Mexico up as far north as Alaska on our coast, as well as all the way across the Pacific into the waters of Japan. However, through this wide range, Pacific white-sided dolphins still do face a number of threats. And sadly, that's something that Helen and Hannah have first-hand experience with. Christy, as someone who works so closely with these dolphins, could you tell us a little bit more about their individual stories?
Of course, Derek. Both of our dolphins are what we refer to as rescue and rehabilitated animals. They were both found entangled in fishing nets off the coast of Japan and then brought to a rehabilitation facility where they were deemed non-releasable.
Wow.
We've been able to provide them with a permanent home here at the Wild Coast. Now, both Helen and Hannah have been with us since 2005, and we've been able to build and maintain a very strong relationship with them in order to provide them with the best possible care through training and regular checkups. Everything that we learn through their health care is used by veterinarians and researchers to gain a better understanding of these mysterious animals. In fact, every day that we spend with them reveals more information about their species as well as their individual personalities, which, believe it or not, are just as different as you and I. But most of all, Helen and Hannah remind us every day that nets pose a very serious threat to dolphins all over the world.
Thank you, Christy. We're going to learn more about threats to Pacific white-sided dolphins later in our show. But first, let's talk about some things that we do know about these dolphins. We know that Pacific white-sided dolphins are often seen in groups, sometimes in pairs, but sometimes as many as 2,000.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Pacific white-sided dolphins also travel together and can do so at very high speeds. They have been observed moving at up to 22
Wow, they're
kilometers
super
per hour,
fast.
faster than you can drive here in Stanley Park. We've just seen some very speedy
Oh my God.
both at the surface and in the underwater viewing gallery, courtesy of Helen and Hannah. And fast swimming like this could help not only
Wow.
to evade predators, but also to capture their prey. So speaking of prey, shout it out for me, folks. What do you think Pacific white-sided dolphins eat?
Fish.
Fishes are a very popular answer today, although animals like squids can also be on the menu. Let's all imagine what it must be like to be a Pacific white-sided dolphin hunting. Although the Pacific Ocean is teeming with life, the deeper you go, the darker it gets. And that means that these dolphins may not always be able to see their food. We're going to listen to some special recordings that will help us to understand a dolphin sense called echolocation. Echolocation is something that involves the way that the dolphins can produce sound underneath the surface of the water. It's a pretty amazing thing to experience. And if you listen closely now, you can all imagine the darkness of the world that these animals must travel to find food in. Some of you are looking a little bit puzzled. echolocation is something that we can't do as people, but the dolphins may rely on to find food. Basically, they produce sounds like the ones that we just heard underneath the surface of the water, which bounce or echo off of the objects around them. By the way that they return to them, the dolphins can use this information to interpret their surroundings without relying on light. Although echolocation is a very accurate ability, as research shows, Pacific white-sided dolphins still become entangled in fishing nets, as do many other kinds of marine mammals that rely on this sense. Here at the Vancouver Aquarium, we want to better understand why Pacific white-sided dolphins sometimes become entangled in fishing nets. And the special tools that I'm holding up right now may help us to do so. Christy and I are holding these suction cups. And because of the strong relationship between the trainers and marine mammals, we can ask animals like Helen and Hannah to touch these suction cups to different parts of their bodies. Christy and Hannah are demonstrating this right now. She can even wear these suction cups over the surface of her eyes. Through this research, we can listen into the way that a dolphin uses echolocation in this habitat. It's our hope that this may help us to better understand the way that the sense works, as well as why Pacific white-sided dolphins become entangled in fishing nets in their natural homes. Now, research shows that Pacific white-sided dolphins are extremely energetic and acrobatic marine mammals. And that's something that we've had a chance to see many times today. Remember, however, the energy that Helen and Hannah gets all comes from the food that they eat. And dolphins may rely on sound in order to find that food. Pacific white-sided dolphins can also use sound in other ways, though, because they're very social animals. Very energetic and splashy social behaviors have been seen and heard in many parts of British Columbia over the course of the past year. And Pacific white-sided dolphins can sometimes even be heard vocalizing. If we're really lucky, we may be able to listen to some Pacific white-sided dolphin vocalizations right here. Let's give Helen and Hannah a huge round of applause, everybody. Those were some awesome vocalization demonstrations. Now, Pacific white-sided dolphins don't just use sound in this way. Touch can be another way to communicate, as can acrobatic abilities like this breach. The powerful splash may act as a signal to animals beneath the surface. And Pacific white-sided dolphins can also create quite a commotion using their tails. The vibrations generated by this behavior are thought to be strong enough to stun some kinds of fish. However, Pacific white-sided dolphins are not the only noisy mammals that use the Pacific Ocean. What have people added to dolphin homes that also makes a lot of noise? Boats, for sure. That's something that dolphins may encounter in their natural homes. But oddly, these animals are often seen bow riding off the front of marine vessels. Exactly how a loud boat would affect these dolphins and their ability to hunt is yet another mystery that's only going to be able to be solved through further research. Sometimes here at the aquarium, it seems like the more mysteries we solve, the more new questions we have to ask. But the question that we are always most dedicated to answering is how can we protect marine mammals like Pacific white-sided dolphins in their natural homes? Well, one threat that we've seen to Pacific white-sided dolphins involves fishing nets in their natural homes. This can happen in many parts of their range, and sadly, Pacific white-sided dolphins are usually not the target of these nets. It's other kinds of seafood that people are looking for, and they are accidentally injured as bycatch. One way that you can minimize your impact on marine predators like Pacific white-sided dolphins is to choose more sustainable seafood choices. Look around the exhibit for the Ocean-Wise symbol, which is posted in many places here at the Wild Coast. Whenever you see that image on a menu in a restaurant or at a grocery store, you'll know that that is a sustainable seafood option that the Vancouver Aquarium supports. To learn more about sustainable seafood and what kinds of fish and shellfish are more or less likely to affect animals like Pacific white-sided dolphins, go to our website, www.vanaqua.org, or download a special iPhone app. I'm really glad that we've been able to show you some of the ways that the lives of Pacific white-sided dolphins are shrouded in mystery. But getting to know Helen and Hannah through research here at the Vancouver Aquarium will hopefully allow us to protect their kind for many generations to come. As a thank you to Christy, and of course to the dolphins, I think we need to give the stars of our show another huge round of applause, because I'm afraid we've just been informed that we've reached the tail